Hey guys, so I'm gonna be talking to you about Carl. He's an 18-year-old male who came in. I actually wasn't there for his initial eval, but I treated him with Janan for his follow-up visit. But he is an 18-year-old male. He has a primary medical diagnosis of cerebral palsy. This is a child. He was diagnosed during his childhood due to neurological complications. He has a history of like coming to PT, but he said he just would stop going because he would either forget about it, or he did mention that because they never really took into account his goals and what he wanted out of physical therapy, that I think he just got bored. So Carl is a first year student at UVU. He wants to be a preschool teacher. So right now he's taking 2 classes, both of which are on the 2nd floor of the buildings, and he has to take a bus to school. So the date of the eval was November 9th, and I believe Carl has scheduled 4 visits to date and was a little confused on when he should show up. So I think one day he showed up when he didn't have an appointment. So that was a little unfortunate. But Janan and I were able to work with him last Tuesday. I'll just list out some of the interventions we did, and then I'll go a little more in depth with how they worked for him. So we started out with, we asked him to show us what he was doing at home. So we started with some hamstring stretching. He wasn't able to get much with the hamstring stretching, so we initiated doing some PNF, contract relax with the hamstrings, and then same with the hip flexors. We did some passive stretching into shoulder flexion, abduction, and external rotation. All those were 2 minutes for each leg or limb. We then worked on overhand throwing activities, chest passing activities, basketball game. We worked on some stair endurance, heel taps, and towel slides. We focused a lot on stretching due to this muscle tone and decreased muscle extensibility that he's been struggling with. He also mentioned that he really wanted to work on throwing activities, and so we really want to keep up his compliance with physical therapy. So we did a lot of that and made it really fun for him. And as far as stair endurance, he mentioned that he wasn't going upstairs that easily at school. So we decided to try to work on that as well. And then heel taps to go along with that. And then towel slides just after the stairs, and heel taps just because he was pretty tired. So we wanted to end with that just to add it to his HEP. Carl actually made a lot of progress with the PNF contract relax stretching, and he was really impressed with how much hip flexion he was able to achieve. I believe he got it was like about 20 degrees when he was self-stretching of hip flexion, so it wasn't much at all. And then with contract relax, I put his leg up on my shoulder, and we were able to get him to around 70 degrees of hip flexion. He was more limited on his right, I believe, than his left, but both were within 10 degrees probably of each other. We then moved on to the throwing and passing activities. He really liked them and was able to increase his throwing distance throughout the activity. We worked some on form and trying to make him keep his shoulders back as he throws. Carl struggled more with overhand throwing than the chest passing, and he said his shoulder got really tired. Once he said that, we then switched to basketball, and it was kind of just more fun for him. His shots got better throughout the activity. He kind of just learned how to get the ball in the hoop, whatever it was. But that was a lot of fun. We were able to add some distractions by the end of it, and he was still making the shots. We then moved on to stair endurance. We asked him how many stairs he had to go up to get to his classes, and then we asked him to do that amount of stairs. But because it was like a shorter flight, he said it wasn't nearly as hard. That's when we decided to do heel taps, and he actually really struggled with this one. So I think it's something he would really benefit from. But he was able to complete 2 sets of 8 of those. And And then we ended the session with the towel slides to improve his shoulder range of motion. So as far as prognosis goes for him, I expect him to make slow progress with improving his muscle extensibility and trying to decrease that tone. He might be able to discharge within 8 weeks, but just some things that kind of worry about with him are his compliance to the HEP, so it's all kind of dependent on that. Because if he's not stretching at home, we're not going to make much progress with that. And then as far as like, I would want to keep an eye on him if he's not progressing the way we would want him to, maybe teaching him some compensatory techniques to just see if he would be interested in that. I talked to Dr. Hoffman in class after treating him, and she said maybe possible Botox would be good for him, or getting him a scooter to get around campus so he's less tired when he does get to go up the stairs already. So that could be some stuff that we talk to him about in the future. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.